Police Academy.
Can you get my kitty cat out of the tree?
No problem, ma'am.
Men who are eager to learn.
I need a volunteer.
Men who want to be popular.
You make me sick.
Thank you, sir. I make everybody sick.
The Police Academy wants you.
Honey, don't worry.
Police Academy. Rated R.
Available on VHS and beta cassette at your favorite video stores.
Hello, I'm here to tell you a little bit about pizza etiquette. Can you do this? Yes. It's acceptable. It's good cold in the morning for breakfast. I've done that. I think how many have done that? Can you take it and go from the other end, crust first? No. I'm sorry. You have to start at the point.
Old Romance checks into Hotel tonight at 10 on CFTO TV.
Here we come. It's just like Mom.
And now here they are, Fergie and Catherine. Wow, hi everybody. Welcome to Just Like Mom. Another fine crowd here again, Catherine. Look at all the signs we've got in the front row. How are you, Mom? Good. How many kids do you have?
4.
You have 4? What's it like bringing up 4 children?
Well, you're very busy all the time.
No kidding.
No.
What's the oldest? How old's the oldest?
10.
10, and the youngest?
5 weeks old.
5 weeks. Wow. Well, it looks like you've lost some weight already, and
Some, yes.
yeah. Boy, where's the 5 weeks?
He's being babysat.
Oh, good for you.
I
Mom's
wasn't
getting a
afraid
break.
of it. I thought
Oh,
twice.
aren't you glad you didn't? All right, we've got some great contestants on the show today. We got some great prizes. So let's get started, Catherine.
Thanks, Fergie. Our 3 moms here are sort of nodding, saying, yep, losing the weight after the baby's the hardest part, aren't we? We remember that, don't we, mothers? Well, let's meet today's contestants, starting with team number 1.
Hi, my name is Natalie, and I like to go skating, and my Cabbage Patch Kid's name is Tiffany. This is my mom, Elaine.
And now let's meet team number 2.
My name's Gary. I like catching frogs, and this is my mom, Betty.
And now let's meet team number 3.
Hi, my name is Danny. I like catching fish.
Well, we got a fisherman, a frog catcher, and a skater on today's show. 6-year-olds, and we say this so many times, you never know what 6-year-olds are going to say, and I think today is another perfect example. Catherine?
Hi, Natalie.
Hi,
Who are you looking at out there?
my sister,
Where's your sister?
right there,
What's her name?
Natasha,
Natasha. Are you waving? That's good.
and my friend Lori.
So you got people here who really want to see you do your best, don't you? That's okay. I got a question. Now, your mom says she likes to watch TV. How many hours a day do you think she spends watching television?
Whole day.
The whole day?
The whole day.
Wow, all day long from the time she gets up in the morning till the time she goes to bed at night?
When she goes to bed, before she goes to bed, she's watching it. She's almost always.
Almost always? Do you know how many hours that is in the whole day for TV watching?
60.
60 hours? Okay, we'll work this out with your mom.
Gary, what's your dad's favorite hobby? You know what it might be? Would it be sleeping?
Yeah.
Does Dad sleep a lot?
Yeah.
He sure does. That's what it says here. And what is the best way to get Dad up when he is sleeping?
Running and yell.
Running and yell. Now, when you do that, Gary, do you get right up beside him when he's laying down in bed and you yell in his ear, "Wake up, Dad"?
No, but I try running beside him.
Right in beside him, and you look him right in the face and you yell at him?
Yeah.
And then you smile?
Yeah.
Yeah. What does Dad do? Does he get mad at you?
No, he just picks up and says what sometimes.
He does, okay.
Okay. Danny, you said that you like catching fish. What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
A shark.
You caught a shark. Weren't you scared? Boy, did you have help? Yeah, who was helping you reel in that shark?
My father.
Thank goodness. Danny, I understand your mom likes horseback riding. Yeah? Well, how can you tell when she's been out horseback riding?
Because she's been riding before.
Yeah, but if, say Mom was horseback riding while you were at school, and you came home? No, that wouldn't work?
She wouldn't be home.
She wouldn't be home. Let me try one more time. Danny, if you didn't know Mom was going out to ride a horse, let's pretend that, okay? You don't know that she's going to go do that. And you're home. When she comes in the house, how would you know that that's what she'd been doing before she told you?
Because she came back home.
Would she be wearing anything different, or would she maybe smell like a horse? Or is there a certain time that she goes horseback riding that you always know that's where she is? That's the kind of, well, which? Help me, Danny, I'm begging you. What do you think?
I think yes.
Okay, we'll work something out. Okay, that's good.
That could have been your toughest question all year, Catherine. All right, Natalie. What's one of your hobbies besides skating? Do you like baking? All right. What kitchen tool do you find the most helpful when you're in there trying to bake something up? What's up there? What are you looking at?
The pot.
Oh, the pot. Sure. Well, what are you looking at up there? You see anything up there? Nothing? What about all those bright lights?
Here. Yeah. Think you can handle another question today? Good. What can you put a caterpillar in so he can't get out?
A jar with a lid.
With a lid? What do you do with the lid?
Poke it on top.
You poke it on top? You put little holes in it? Yeah, so you get holes in it. Have you ever had a problem with a caterpillar before?
Yeah, yes, yes.
What was the problem you had with the caterpillar?
I didn't know that they had to put a top on.
Yeah?
And I took it home in one of my blue buckets, and I had two of them. And I fell asleep, and one of them got away on top of my brother when we were asleep on the way home from the trail, and the other one got lost in the car.
Oh, no! Oh, and you never saw them again?
But we caught the one and let him go.
Oh, okay. But his friend was gone forever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too
He's
bad.
lost in the car.
Lost in the car.
Danny, you were telling Catherine about catching that shark. You know what you never told us? How big was it?
This big.
This big? That big? That big? Oh, that big. And did it have sharp teeth? Oh, it didn't? Did it have any teeth at all? I didn't think he did. All right. Which of your Matchbox cars would you like to drive in real life?
Knight Rider, man.
Knight Rider, sure. We're going to be back with the mums in just a moment. We're having some fun today.
It's coming soon to your video store.
Watch this.
The Empire Strikes Back. The ultimate battle between good and evil. until it's too late. Reserve your copy at your local video store now.
Taste the rainbow of fruit flavors. New Skittles.
Skittles.
All your favorite fruit flavors.
Taste the rainbow.
In Skittles.
Skittles. Bite-sized candy.
Colorful candy shells with chewy fruit flavors in the middle. Strawberry, orange, lemon, lime, Skittles. Bite-sized candies. Taste the rainbow of fruit flavors.
Taste the rainbow.
New Skittles.
Now, if you were a mom, you might have decided to stay out in the soundproof booth instead of coming back into the studio, but these ladies are brave and they love their children and they want to be here to finish this show. We're going to let them do that after we look at some things for kids.
What is the first choice of word game fans? Scrabble brand crossword games manufactured by Chieftain Products under license from Selchow and Writer Company, owner of the registered trademark Scrabble. Majorette presents Magokit, an exciting educational road game featuring perfectly detailed traffic settings for hours of pleasure and fascination. It's Magokit from Majorette. Presenting Chuck E. Cheese. It's a super place for your next birthday party with great pizza, shows, rides, and exciting games for you and your friends. Make it Chuck E. Cheese for your next party.
Now, our families have a chance to score a total of 25 points here. The first question's worth 10 points and the second worth 15. Elaine, now we know you like to watch television. How many hours a day did Natalie say she thinks you spend watching TV?
Oh, dear.
I asked Natalie how many hours a day Mom spends watching TV. How do you think she would answer
5.
that? 5 hours a day? Well, let's see what she did say. She said the whole day, 60 hours.
60 hours. I wish there were 60 hours.
Me too.
Betty, what did Gary say was the best way to get Dad up when he's sleeping?
Jump on him.
Jump on him. Okay, that's probably what he does. But Gary said that he lays beside him and yells. Okay, so we can't give you that one.
How did Danny say that he can tell when you've been out horseback riding?
Oh, no.
How can he tell?
Oh, maybe because I walk funny?
You know something? That is the only one in the world we didn't hit. Let's see what Danny said. See, we can't really tell you what Danny said because first you wouldn't be home, then you'd be back, then you'd have come home, then you would smell like a horse, but it wasn't that. But he was great.
Okay.
You ready for this one, Mom?
No.
What kitchen tool did Natalie say was the most helpful to her? We understand she likes to bake.
Let's see. We were talking about spatula the other day.
The old spatula. Were you the other day? Well, she didn't say spatula. She said hot.
Oh. True.
True.
Betty, what did Gary say he could put a caterpillar into so that the caterpillar can't get out?
A jar with a top?
A jar with a top. That's right. That's exactly what he said. He learned his lesson about lidless containers without lids.
I think so.
Nancy, which one of Danny's Matchbox cars did he say he would like to drive in real life?
Oh, probably his Knight Rider.
Knight Rider, right on the money. Yes, sir. All right. What's it like having 6-year-olds in the kitchen to bake? We are going to find out in just a moment. After you watch this, we'll be right back. Let's go, partner, over this way.
Long ago, when all efforts failed to get rid of pests, the good folk realized they needed a professional who was skilled and equipped to handle such problems, whether they were small or large. Well, they called for the Pied Piper, who with speed and great skill took care of the problem. So the lesson of the story is, for any pest problem in home or business, call a professional. Call PCO, Canada's Pied Piper.
You can feel the cottony, feel the cottony softness, cottonelle.
I think the softness, yeah, was the first thing I noticed. It's really cottony soft. That's the kind of thing I'd like for my family. Penny wise, pound foolish is what my mother always said, and she uses cottonelle, so there you go. It's the only one I'll use.
You can feel the cottony softness.
In my house, I I've learned to do it the right way. Wax paper for my food to keep it fresh. And for my guests, the right serviettes. Thick and soft for entertaining with exciting instructions on new folding features. Of course, I wouldn't be without the new right table cover with a special plastic lining. You might say that it takes right over. A perfect fit for any budget. Speaking of which, budget bathroom tissue. Soft and fluffy at a budget price. So next time you're shopping, shop the right way.
You hear the rumor that life might be better close to the big city. But you soon discover that even basic things are a distant dream, like education. Canada's churches are often there to help, supporting local efforts to grab just a bit of the future. It's love in action.
Here's Catherine.
Thanks, Fergie. Today, our pint-sized gourmets are going to try to make apple spice cookies. They have 60 seconds to mix it all up in. Are you ready, kids? Getting set? Go! Let's go! Now, we told them what kinds of things go into apple spice cookies. You can put it all in, just all of it. You know why? All of your moms want to have a nice taste, and that's just sugar. Okay? We'll just dump it all in, just like that. And we'll mush it off later. So we've got a little flour here and some apples. So one thing, we're going to have to put more in because all of your moms want to taste. Okay, so you put some more in, then you can put all the apples in. And maybe you'd like to put some milk in and stir it up. That would be good. So you're doing okay here. You got an egg in and everything. Wow, an egg and sugar, apples, milk, you're doing really well. All you need is some of this to hold it all together. Hey, we're cooking with gas here. We're doing all right. Now this is brown sugar if you want to put it in. It really belongs. That cinnamon, it really belongs. And you know what, hun? You need some flour just to hold it all together, okay? Pour that in. Wow, that was a quick 60 seconds. Well, I guess it was sort of the same length as any other 60 seconds, but it just seemed like it went so quickly today. Now, kids, you can start mixing up all your ingredients. We have to stir these things thoroughly because these are going to be sort of funny apple spice cookies, but I think your moms will be proud. They did a good job for little kids. Going to have a look at some family things while we mix the cookies.
From Wherever, beautiful sauté-style skillets fashioned from heavy-gauge, deep heating aluminum, coated in a premium non-stick coating, Silverstone. The best in Silverstone skillets wherever. Mini Baby Bell, so cute, so soft, so round. Smooth, creamy Mini Baby Bell. Cheese in sacks of 5, yours from Anco. The Sharp Carousel microwave oven that cooks the food evenly and easily within minutes. Easy convenience and economy with Sharp Carousel microwave ovens. From sharp minds come sharp products.
And the questions we're asking the moms are worth a little bit more than the first round. First question here is worth 20 points and the second worth 25. Elaine, we know Natalie would like to be a singer when she grows up. So why will she say that Tina Turner is so good?
Because she's able to dance along with her singing.
Because she can dance and sing at the same time. That's good.
Betty, one of Gary's favorite hobbies is getting dirty, we understand. It's a favorite hobby for most kids his age. But what's the best way you know to get dirty? That's the question that I'm going to ask Gary. What do you think he would say?
When he catches frogs.
When he catches frogs. Boy, he has this fixation about frogs, doesn't he?
Loves frogs.
He loves them. Does he bring them home? Does he scare you with them?
26 at a time.
You're kidding. Do you live on a farm or in the country? Where does he get these frogs?
He gets them at our trailer and also when he goes to visit his grandmother.
Have you ever fed him frog's legs?
No.
Okay.
Just got goosebumps about that. Nancy, now Danny's a beaver. So we're going to ask him if Dad were a beaver, what badge would Danny give Dad? So what do you think about that? If your husband were a beaver, what badge would Danny give him?
Well, knowing the way Danny thinks, I'd probably just say a gold one.
A gold one? That could work.
Elaine, I kind of like this question that I'm going to ask you. It's rather interesting. We know that Natalie and her dad play dress-up. What will Natalie say is the funniest outfit that he has worn?
One of my dresses.
One of your dresses. I see. Now, Elaine, does
He wears the makeup.
He puts the makeup on and everything. Now, does he do this often?
I hope not.
Does he ever leave the house when he does this?
No.
Are you sure? You've never caught him outside?
No.
Okay.
Might catch him outside now because he might not want to come back in after that. Betty, where will Gary say that bullfrogs get their name? A little frog hopper.
I guess because they're bigger?
Because they're bigger. Big like a bull. We'll see what he does say.
Nancy, what will Danny say that Oscar the Grouch lives in a garbage? Why will Danny say that he lives in a garbage can?
Probably because he likes dirt.
Because he likes dirt. Okay, we're going to bring those kids out here in just a moment. But first of all, let's have a look at this, something you can use around the house. When a first aid emergency strikes, this book could help save the life of someone you love. The First Aid Guide teaches you how to handle emergencies like accidental poisonings, burns, electrical shocks, and even drowning during that crucial time before professional help arrives. For your copy, send only $8.95 to First Aid Guide, care of MTM Health Products, Box 1400, Burlington, Ontario.
Kids are back, and they're going to try to match up with their mom. Well, I'm just going to ask you now. This one, not this one. Natalie, now we understand that you might like to be a singer when you grow up. What do you think makes Tina Turner so good? What do you think? I mean, Tina Turner's pretty good. What do you think it is that makes her so good?
Her looks.
Her looks. Let's see what Mom said. Mom thought you might say that she can dance and sing at the same time.
Gary, what's the best way you know of to get dirty?
Oh, go catching frogs.
Go catching frogs, sure. What's the most frogs you've ever brought home to Mom?
Well,
At one time.
Well, I've never had them at home before. I've only had them at my Grammy's.
Oh, over at Grammy's house, okay.
Danny, if your dad were a beaver, what badge would you give him?
Number?
You'd give him a number badge? Oh, let's see what Mom said. Mom thought maybe you'd just give him a nice gold badge.
Natalie, we know that your dad plays dress-up with you. What's the funniest outfit he has ever worn?
When he put makeup on himself.
When he put makeup on himself? Well, what did he wear?
He wore a dress.
He wore a dress. Now, how often does Dad do this?
Sometimes when we're downstairs.
Sometimes when you're downstairs? Does he ever go outside dressed up like that? He doesn't?
Gary, where do you think that bullfrogs got their name? Yeah, bullfrogs. That's a special Gary question, because you like catching frogs. Where do you think bullfrogs get their name?
Because they're so big.
Let's see what Mom said. Good for you, Gary. That's exactly right. Very good.
Danny, why does Oscar the Grouch live in a garbage can?
Because he's a grouch.
Because he's a grouch. Any other reason you can think of? That's it. Well, let's see what Mom said. Mom said because he likes dirt. And that's the reason. He is a bit of a grouch, too, isn't he? Do you watch Sesame Street a lot? It's a great, great show, isn't it? Okay, we'll be back in just a moment with the old taste test. We're going to send somebody to Disney World.
If your antiperspirant goes on wet and takes time to dry, how can you expect it to keep you dry? Dry Idea antiperspirant rolls on feeling dry to keep you dry all day long. When you want effective odor and anti-wetness protection, think of Dry Idea. It has almost no water. The whole idea is dry. After all, why get wet to stay dry?
This
This is Zeller's little book of big values, actual size, but look at any of the hundreds of values inside. Like this Iona 2-speed electric broom for just $59.97, and its importance grows. Check out this Melita Aroma Plus coffee maker for just $39.97, and you'll realize this book's no small potatoes. But take note of this Braun multifunction kitchen machine for just $299.97, and you'll discover the true dimensions of this sale. So get going. You don't need the book to save. Just come to Zeller's.
Ford and Mercury, Ford's Price Buster.
Our Ford trucks have the best-built North American quality, and our dealers are price-busting now. Save up to $1,500 on 85 Ranger, the best-selling and best-priced standard-equipped compact truck. And on our 85 F-Series, add the Explorer to the F-150 work-made package and save over $1,900. Take delivery by March 31st. Make no monthly payments till June 85. Buy now and save. March Price Busters.
We can't be outdone at Ford. Quality is job one.
Put the paint on the picture, put the brush on the floor, put the glue on your fingers, and you open up the door. That's mess, 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 that's mess, 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 big bad mess.
Less toil, heavy-duty cleaner gets that mess.
Put the gum on the tire, don't want it anymore. Put your feet on the pedals and you slide across the floor. That's mess, 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 that's mess, 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 big bad mess.
Less toil, heavy-duty cleaner gets that mess.
That's Paul!
Moms, these are apple spice delights, not cookies. And they look rather delightful, don't they? All right, you got 30 seconds on the taste test. Go ahead and dig in. And you're looking at Betty, who is the leader with 60 points. How does it taste, Betty? Terrible, she said. Elaine, how does it taste?
Sweet.
Sweet. Nancy, you got 15 points. How does it taste?
Great.
All right, she said, and she's went for a nice big bite. And they say, oh, look at Elaine. She's going right after it. Way to go, Elaine. And there goes another bite by Nancy. So Betty's the leader with 60, Elaine is 25, and Nancy has 15. All right, Moms, that's it. Time's up. Quickly pick a number and set it down in front of you, please. And Nancy and Danny, we're going to start with you. You've got 15 points. You still have a chance to win this game because this is worth 50 if you can get a matchup. So, for the lead on Just Like Mom, Nancy and Danny, hold up your numbers. A 3 to 3. All right, Nancy. Why did you take number 3, Nancy?
It was the worst.
It was the worst. Okay, Elaine and Natalie, you're next. If you get a matchup, that'll give you 75 points. You'll be in the lead. So, for the lead, hold up your numbers. Elaine and Natalie, got 2 to 2. Way to go. You're in the lead. Now, Betty, it all comes down to you. If you get it, you win, because you've got 60 now, and that would give you 110 points. If you don't get it, Elaine and Natalie win the game. So, for the win, Betty and Gary, hold up your numbers. A 2 and a 1. Oh, too bad, Betty. Elaine and Natalie, you've won. Congratulations. I want to show you what you've won for the family. You have won one of Dunlop's finest tennis rackets, made of top-quality aluminum for superb playability and durability. Designed for the up-and-coming tennis player. Play your best with Dunlop. Gemcraft, for 40 years a tradition built on quality and value. Gemcraft, the leader in its field in precious metal jewelry. For rings and jewelry, Gemcraft. Imagine 2 marvelous weeks at the world-famous Onondaga Camp in Ontario's Haliburton Highlands. Established since 1918, Onondaga offers everything from windsurfing, scuba diving, to horseback riding, tennis, and karate. Activities galore. Kids from around the world and an excellent staff will make your stay at Onondaga Camp 2 of the happiest weeks of your whole life. All right, Natalie, you can go now. She's so darn anxious. She keeps looking at me. She says, can I go? Oh, the backhanded twirl of the wheel. Here it comes. Portable TV. A birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. All right. Here comes Chucky now. Way to go. Congratulations. You have won a free birthday party for you and 20 of your friends at Chuck E. Cheese's. Chuck E. Cheese. Great pizza and great fun for your friends and your family. Natalie, are you happy about that? By golly, I guess she is. She sure is, and thanks, Chucky. We want to thank everybody for watching. We have nice prizes for the other kids. So long, and thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah, I'll say it is.
Colt gets help from a family of con artists tonight at 8 on CFTO's stunt-filled adventure series, Fall Guy.
consulting with someone she doesn't particularly like. So watch out, Charles.
What about, speaking of Di, what about this this rugby player that there's been all sorts of rumors about?
You know, I'm a fan of Lady Diana Spencer, or the Princess of Wales as she is now.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is a storm in a teacup. I truly believe that she was just friendly with this rugby player.
You do?
Yeah, I really do. I don't think there was anything romantic in it. It remains to be seen. And I think, you know, she's a beautiful-looking woman. Anybody would be afraid when your husband's being associated with her. And I think that's probably what happened. It got blown out of all proportion by the press.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, every man she talks to, she's having an affair with. And I really think some of the courtiers in Charles's camp are trying to discredit her.
Yeah.
Because she's so popular. The press absolutely adore her. So, you know, they've got to try and tarnish this image.
How do you think she's doing these days?
I think she's doing great.
Yeah?
I mean, she's obviously hurting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, you know, it was very interesting that she had a private meeting with Charles and refused to have anybody there. And one of the outcomes of that meeting, which rather surprised me, was that she was prepared to give up the title HRH, you know, Her Royal Highness, and settle for Diana, Princess of Wales. Now, that smacks to me of intervention by the Queen. Because the same thing happened to Wallis Simpson. When Edward abdicated, she was never accorded the title HRH, Her Royal Highness.
Right.
Only he referred to her as, you know, Your Royal Highness.
Right.
And when he died, and she was finally invited to England, she was then accorded that title. So it's very significant that the Queen is in the background.
And the rumors continue, do they not?
Oh, God, do they ever.
Thank you so much for being with us and filling us in on a bit of the gossip that's been going on. Appreciate it. Up next, we're going to meet a couple who turned their world travels into a television show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you speak as clearly as you should? Do you know what a difference it makes to your communication skills? A little speech therapy for us all. That's coming up on Monday, and I'm glad I read that one properly. Patricia Roy and Scott Barron never really imagined when they were planning their trips through the Pacific Islands and Southeast Asia that this trip would later become a television documentary. You know, just as they were about to leave, they heard about a film company that had an idea. Give a movie camera to a young couple, let them embark on a trip around the world, and see what happens. Well, they got the gig, and here to tell us about one fascinating odyssey, Patricia Roy and Scott Barron. Welcome. And I got to say, I'm very happy to know that after this trip, you're still married.
Yeah, we are.
It's good. It's a good thing. Why did you go on this trip around the world? What made you do it?
Well, the trip around the world was something that we had talked about for a long time, and you know, we'd been busy, caught up in our work lives and sort of getting ahead as we tend to think of it. And suddenly, things were slowing down. We thought, well, we've really got to, you know, what can we do with our lives? So we decided, let's do this trip. And we talked about it, and finally, we just had to do it. So we basically quit our jobs. We got rid of our apartments. We had a big yard sale. We got rid of everything we didn't need. We bought some tickets, and we said, we're going. And then just as we were about to leave, some friends of ours contacted us and said, there's this ad in the paper, and they're looking for somebody to do a film. And we thought, well, you know, we're going along. We're taking cameras. We're taking sketch pads. This will be something else to do, because the trip is going to be so different, such a departure from what we normally do, that this is just one more thing to do. And we just thought, well, let's just take a chance, because the whole trip was a big chance.
So you connected with the filmmaker?
Yeah.
She gave you a camera?
A week before. So
a week before you left?
A week before I left.
Really?
So it involved some changes to our itinerary, but it was very brief. And in a week, we picked up the camera and started getting used to how we were going to film this. And then the next 3 months was sheer hell, but...
Well, I'll tell you, speaking of that sheer hell, you know, I was watching the documentary last night, and I was watching the frustrations and the foibles that you had to go through, especially in parts like Southeast Asia. There's that speech therapy thing. Southeast Asia. And I got to ask you, what did you like the best? What was your favorite part?
Favorite part? Probably favorite country was Vietnam.
Really?
And I think the attachment and just enthusiasm over Vietnam was, of course, the history, and going in there and expecting this country to be devastated by the effects of the Vietnam War, and then realizing that it was an incredibly beautiful and rich country. And also it was at a point where the U.S. trade embargo had just been lifted, so there was such little, I guess, influence from the West, very few, minor development in the country, so cycling and few motor vehicles.
Right.
All through the country.
Well, I know we got a little clip from this, from
Okay.
Vietnam, so let's take a look at it, okay? Go right up there, you see?
We're arriving in Ho Chi Minh City, and it's only been a few weeks since the U.S. trade embargo has been lifted. And I think the first reaction of arriving there is that there's a freshness about it, raw, it's pure, and it's because it's not crawling with tourists. Hello. No, goodbye.
I tell you, I was so taken by that greeting that you had from all the kids in Vietnam.
That was one of the most amazing times actually when we were there, and it was just when we got started, because the kids were teaching us how to count. They're going hello, and we didn't. We didn't know anything. We didn't know the language. We didn't know how to count. We barely knew how to say hello. So they were teaching us how to count, and they were so animated. They were so excited, and just because we were responding to them, they were responding back to us, and it was this amazing connection that we had there. And there was so many of them. It was incredible.
And it was also, I guess, this also came, Pat, right? Not long after you had gone through other countries where things weren't quite as smooth, right?
That's right.
So this was a great.
It was, and I think because we usually had an entourage of vendors and people
and
wanting your
pickpockets
business.
and thieves
That's
and
right.
stuff like that.
And
you
then
know,
suddenly
usual
you're
kind of thing.
surrounded by children who are just so infatuated with who you are and where you've come from, and they just want to correspond and communicate somehow.
Brings you back and why you went in the first place. Now, how do you pack for a whole year, especially when you're basically backpacking it?
Well, we asked ourselves that for the longest time when we were getting ready to go, and I guess what it comes down to is you're packing for a really big, long weekend.
Really big, long
If you
weekend.
pack any more than that, you pack too much.
Right.
So really what you do is you pack just like you would for a bit longer than a weekend, you know, 3 pairs of socks, 3 pairs of shorts, 3 t-shirts, stuff you can wash, things that are in neutral
Extra pair of
colors.
shoes.
This is the pack you use here?
Yes, it is. It's a little cleaner than...
and then the one when
yeah.
That's right. I noticed
Yeah, so
that. You got to dry clean since you came back. That's a good
Yeah.
thing.
So I brought along a couple of
show.
things.
Okay.
I didn't want to bring along all the dirty clothes that we had.
No, that's a good thing.
And then
I'm
the old
very glad that
sandals.
you didn't. I got to tell you.
But you know, you bring along just what you think you need, and of course with the documentary, this was a documentary in a bag. Our camera's in here, our microphones, everything is in this little bag that we took with us, plus a tripod. And
Of course,
so that's
got to have the tripod.
Yeah.
Because you got to take pictures of both of you together, and there's no
How
third
else,
person
how
there.
else do you do it?
Right.
Another couple of essential items are the
Travel guides.
travel guides. These are the tapes we took.
Tapes.
And we took about 20 of these.
Great.
And
And then within that, buried below, are
we got
our menial
bags with clothes in them.
clothing.
Maps.
Now,
more equipment for the camera.
I got to tell you, from watching the foibles that you went through, this was very, very. If ever you need a challenge to a relationship, you were married how long when you left?
A
You were
year.
just basically newlyweds,
A year.
right?
Yeah.
If you need a challenge to your new marriage, this is the way to do it. Go around the world. Go through Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
How did it affect you in the? You're still together.
Yes,
That's
we
the
are.
good thing.
Still
That's the main
I
part.
think
But-
we've amazed a lot of people that way.
Yeah. Well, tell us something. Tell us something about the problems that you had between each other over the course.
Well,
of the time.
I think the thing about an extended trip like that is you're in each other's back pocket, so to speak, for the longest time, and you know and when you're traveling the way we traveled, we're almost the only person that we can really talk to. So you're talking to each other all the time. You're traveling in often an isolated situation, and all of the funny things that might have bugged you about a person, the way they comb their hair, the way they don't wash their shirts, all these weird tiny little things that you can forget about in day-to-day life because you're going to work, you're doing other things. When you're with each other 24 hours a day, everything kind of gets magnified. So
No breaks.
No breaks at all. So those are the sort of things that when you're together so much, you know, it's like taking a marriage and compressing it into a really, really short period of time. So in the 1 year that we traveled together, day to day, 24 hours a day, it was like a lifetime of experience that people would have spread over a lifetime, and we had it all together.
And,
So,
and the main thing
the
is
good and the bad.
And the thing is, you still are together.
And
I
we
thought,
still are together.
And I got to tell you, if you really want to see these people at each other's throats, I got to tell you a time. You got to see, you got to see the documentary. And you can obtain a copy of the Odyssey Diaries. That's what it's called, and I think it's a good title. Eh? Yeah. All you got to do is call up your local National Film Board Office of Canada, and hey, they'll give you a copy. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And it's amazing that they're still together. I got to tell you. Anyway, here is how you can get real. Great stuff, man.
Sorry,
that was excellent. That was
Guests of Real Life, check into comfort at the beautiful Radisson Toronto East. Come unwind with a dip.
Work out with state-of-the-art fitness equipment. Enjoy casual and fine dining, award-winning service. Nestled in a resort setting minutes from downtown.
The Radisson Toronto East, Don Valley, your home away from home. Self, you may be saying to yourself.
You may.
Why are these funny people wearing funny hats and... Well, today happens to be...
Our 100th show.
Amazing, eh?
100 shows. 100 programs. This is the real-life centennial, if you will. Very nicely done.
Thank you.
This has been, I got to tell you, the most fun that a person should be allowed to have.
And what a crew, eh?
This is an incredible crew.
This is a crew that, remember our first show when we didn't know anybody, and now they feel totally comfortable throwing things on us. I mean, it's a great crew.
No, seriously, great crew, great staff, great bunch of people. You have no idea how much fun this place
Happy
is.
100th to us all. Yay!
Whoop-de-doo. But hey, we have
There's more
another
to come.
100 to go.
Or
at least.
At least.
So
Coming
we're going
up
to begin.
on Monday's show 101.
Parenting expert Nancy Samelin, right? Will be bringing us all her advice here in Real Life, a special 3-part series that focus on siblings.
That's coming up on Monday. We're also going to be talking about how to stop the fighting with those siblings.
Yeah, it never happens, right?
No.
Food editor Julia Aitken from Homemakers Magazine is going to be right here to brighten up Sunday morning with some flippin' good pancake ideas.
Flippin' good?
Flippin' good.
We'll be looking at some great men's fashions for spring. We'll show you how designer clothes don't have to be nearly as expensive as you think.
Okay, speech therapy. Only for those with a speech impediment?
I think
Absolutely not. All of us can benefit from some improvement in our diction, and we'll have some exercises to help out.
And what's new on the music scene for April? That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching our 100th show. We'll see you at the home show this weekend.
That's right, in
If
Toronto.
you're in Toronto, have a great weekend. Hope it's a wonderful one wherever you are.
Have fun. Bye.